Hi guys, okay, so today we're going to make Nutella brownies. So I'm doing this video so you can just watch it one time through, and then when I'm done, then you can load it up on Etsy and you can pause it as you're cooking. So you will need a bowl and a whisk, or if you have one of these mixers, you could use that too, but you don't have to have one of those. You can just have a bowl and a whisk instead. You need a 8 by 8 inch baking dish or close to that size. You need some parchment paper to put inside so the brownies don't stick. You need some Nutella, hazelnut spread or a hazelnut spread. It doesn't have to be Nutella. You need 2 eggs. You need 4 tablespoons of salted butter, melted. You need some pure vanilla extract or vanilla extract. You need some flour, and if you want it to be extra fudgy, you can put some chocolate chips in. Okay, so I'm going to heat the oven up to 350 degrees. There was a lot of questions last time I cooked about what temperature and how long. A lot of you were messaging me, so I did link the recipe. So you don't have to ask me again. So 350 degrees, and we will start by putting our parchment paper. This is a pretty important step because if you don't have this stuff, it could get really sticky. And put enough so it sort of overhangs. I kind of have a rip in it, but that's okay. So you want enough so some of it hangs over. Okay. And then you're going to take your Nutella. I have some old Nutella and a new one, so I'm gonna use up my old stuff. And you want 1 cup of this stuff. Okay, so get your 1 cup measurement. Okay. And it's pretty important to measure accurately in baking. In cooking, it's not as important, but in baking, you have to be pretty exact. So, oh my goodness, my hands are gonna get really dirty digging around in there. So I'm gonna get an even longer spoon, the biggest metal spoon I have, and I'm gonna sort of try and clean out this Nutella. I use Nutella a lot for baking because it already has sugar in it, so you don't have to add sugar to these brownies because the sugar is in the Nutella. Now, some people try and say Nutella is a healthy breakfast because it has nuts in it. It's not, it's filled with sugar, but that's okay. We're making a treat today. And okay, so you want it to be about level. So there we go. There's 1 cup. So I'm going to move this off to the side and I'm going to put it in my bowl right here. Sometimes if it's really, really hard, I like to put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds to loosen it up, but this is pretty soft. But if you do keep it in the fridge, you might have to soften it up a bit. There we go. And now we need eggs and butter. Now I'm going to measure the butter and put it in the microwave while we're putting the other stuff out, just to sort of save time on this video. So here's my 1 cup. So you need 4 tablespoons of salted butter. So you need butter, not margarine, okay? Actually, I have my plastic ones. I'm going to use my steel ones because they're a little bit easier to use when I'm measuring out butter. And I'm going to use a glass measuring cup because then I like melting it in a glass measuring cup. So let's see here. So I kind of squish it in like this because my butter is a little bit cold. So there's 1. And I'll squish it in like that. Maybe your family has a neater way of doing it. I don't. I just kind of mold it in like that. So that's about 2, 3. And then I'm gonna stick this in the microwave for about 20 seconds. That's 3. Ouch. And 4. Okay, so there is 4 tablespoons of salted butter. I'm gonna stick it in the microwave for about 20. And I like to put a lid on top when I melt it. There is a melting butter feature on some microwaves, but I'm just gonna melt it. Okay. Now I'm going to put the 2 eggs in. Again, I'm using Claire's Beautiful Farm Fresh eggs. Okay. And then for vanilla, you want 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So there's my teaspoon right there. Make sure you have a teaspoon. So 1 and 2. And if you put a little bit of extra vanilla, that's okay. It's not going to hurt anybody. So there is the butter. Hopefully it's melted. Yeah, it's looking good. So that was about, ooh, it might have been a little bit too much. So maybe don't put it in for 20, put it in for 10. I'm gonna stir that in there. Now, if you just have a whisk at home, you can whisk it up. But if you have one of these kitchen stands, makes it a tiny bit easier for you. So if you have a kitchen stand, you can also, I'm videotaping. That was my husband who almost interrupted our videotaping. Okay, and so you do it for about a minute. Okay, and then add the flour and you mix just until combined. So this gets a good stir, and then you're going to do half of a cup of butter. So I've got my half cup here.
Flour.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get half cup of flour, and I will spoon that in. And I usually use another little measuring cup like this. And then what I like to do is I like to level it off. Okay, so it's nice and level. And then wait until this is nice and stirred up and mixed together, and that can go for about a minute. So that's been about a minute. And then you're going to put your flour in, and you do not want to overmix with the flour or else your brownies will become tough. So do not overmix, okay? So I'm just going to mix it a little bit, not much. Chocolate chips while we're waiting. Okay, so that's good, and then I can use the rest. See, I really like to be careful that I'm not over mixing. So I kind of take my spatula and sort of just do it a little bit by hand. And then if you want this to be extra chocolatey, you can put in half a cup of chocolate chips. Like, this is gonna be chocolate overload, but I like chocolate, okay? So now you put the chocolate chips in at the end, and it's called folding them in. So you just give them a kind of a light little stir here. And now we are ready to dump the mixture into our 8x8. You can use glass or you can use metal. Okay. And that was 5 ingredients, so that was pretty good. So you are going to cook these for 25 to 30 minutes. Check your oven at the lowest time, 25 minutes. Easy peasy, 1 pot, and your family is going to love these. Now, I like to eat them hot. I like to eat them with some vanilla ice cream or some whipped cream on top, just to make it extra decadent. And if you're nice, you'll let your brother or sister lick the bowl. Okay. And I'm just gonna smooth them out a little bit. Just just like that. Now, the biggest thing is, like I said, you don't want to overmix with the flour, else your brownies will become way too tough. Okay. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and then I will see you after when these are cooked. So good luck. Remember, 350 degrees, and then cook them for 25 to 30 minutes. Check them at 25 minutes. Put a toothpick in them. If it comes out really, really runny, then they're not ready yet. But I always err on the side of undercooking my baking because I don't mind that kind of cookie dough taste. All right, so I hope you enjoyed these. Don't forget to do the poll for next week's baking. Okay, have fun, guys.